programming. So when you start lifting heavier, you know, in a contrast to CrossFit, the volume is going to have to come down. That's why a lot of people, you can't mix too much intensity, volume, and frequency together with powerlifting training because you will break. So with that said, you're not going to need to do as much volume on the squat, on the bench, on the deadlift. So what I would suggest you doing is kind of following a template similar to what I outlined in Gift of Injury. Basically, the first week you do a top set of 5. The next week you do a top set of 4. The next week you do a top set of 3, and then you deload and have a light week where you only work on form that week. So basically, every 4th week or so, you'll have like the 115 on the squat where you just did 30-second or a minute rests. You still approached it with 100% focus, but the weight's lighter, you know that, but that's when you create those engrams. Doing form, doing speed, knocking it out, hammering it, and then going light that day. And then when you come back the next week, you should be ready to start turning it up. You should even be a little frustrated that you had to go light, but it's for the good of your body to be able to continue to push over time. Nothing's linear. You can't just indefinitely add weight every week and expect to have progress forever. It just doesn't work that way. Now, it can for a little while, depending on how good your genetics are, a little bit of luck. You can push for a long time, but eventually you're going to break. So I like to have people deload or have a week that's about 50% intensity and 50% volume. You just back off for a week before you're forced to with an injury. So every 3-4 weeks or so, have a lighter week. Allow yourself to, give yourself permission to lift light, because I struggle too, because sometimes I think, why am I even going to come to the gym when I'm not doing hardly anything? But you could still focus on your movement, you still focus on core, and you do those things, but your goals are different now. Bones take about 5 days to heal compared to muscles can heal and recover anywhere from like 24 to 36 hours depending. But the bone, your vertebra and such, your joints take longer to recover. So that's why people typically start to break down after a couple of months of high frequency, high intensity, high volume training. They can't recover. The soft tissue can recover, but the bones and ligaments can't. That's the thing. So when you're loading bone, you're creating microfractures. So that's why you have people that lift weights for a long time, their bone density is like through the roof. You've heard of elderly people reverse osteoporosis by lifting heavy for them, and the bone scaffolds over and becomes thicker over time.
I didn't realize that was why.
Yeah. So lifting weight, so you create microfractures and then it scaffolds over and heals. When you don't let it heal, the microfractures become macrofractures. That's why you have people snap their forearms or radius to ulna, they blow their knees apart, they blow their back apart, because those injuries have been manifesting for a long time. It just took that one deadlift at 225 or that one whatever it was, lift that blew them apart. Most of the injuries that people see are cumulative from ignoring load, intensity, volume. It's got to all be managed. So I want you to really focus on lower volume on the main lifts. You can still blow out the volume on the assistance work, but focus on more quality over quantity for the squat and the deadlift, and just don't always use up everything you have in the tank. You had a lot more in the tank on the deadlifts today, but why? We've already hit the form, we've already mastered the squat, we've made a lot of progress with the deadlift. Why push, So it's been a lot. So keep that mindset in mind. It took me a long time to learn that over the years, that less is more a lot of the time, and you don't have to be completely wasted leaving the gym to feel like you did something. Now today, tonight, you're probably gonna feel a little bit trashed. Your joints are gonna be achy, you might be sore, especially in the core and such. That's fine, but you just can't do that same workout we did today every day. You can't do that. So you need to stimulate, not annihilate. That's like one of the names of the game, to stay in strength training for a long time. Now, if you go back to hypertrophy, that's not my world. You do your thing, you build your legs, build your glutes, that's your thing. But when it comes to the strength training, less frequency, less volume, and be mindful with everything that you do. All right? Good. Thank you so much for watching today. Please subscribe, like, and share if you enjoyed this video, and have a wonderful day.